내내 제 마음속에 있는 쟤한테 계속 물어봤어요. 괜찮을까? 이거 써도 될까? 훨씬 그 어떤 소설을 쓸 때보다도 질문을 많이 했던 소설이에요. 저는 제가 쓰는 인물의 편에 섰어요. 그러니까 여태까지 계속 그렇게 썼던 것 같고, 그렇게 써야 이야기가 진행이 돼요. 그러니까 제가 어떤 제3자나 객관화를 하거나 제3자의 시점이나 이렇게 거리를 두고 그 인물을 바라보는 순간 글이 진행이 안 되더라고요. 그래서 저는 일단 내가 누군가에 대해서 쓰기로 작정을 했으면 그 사람의 편에서 그 사람에게 최대한 이입을 해서 쓰자라는 편이고, 그렇게 써서 어떤 문학적인 가치를 확보하지 못하더라도 최소한 누군가에게는 위로가 될 수 있지 않을까 라는 생각이고, 두 번째는 내가 누군가에 대해서 쓰기로 한 이상 이 사람이 그냥 당하는 이야기만은 쓰지 말자. 마냥 당하는 이야기 말고 이 어려움 속에서 이 사람이 뭐라도 자기 자신을 위해서 뭐라도 최선을 다해 행동하고 나아가는 것을 쓰고 싶죠. 네. 그래서 저는 되게 인물의 편에 서서 응원하는 마음으로 쓰는 것 같아요. 저는 변화가 크다고 생각을 해요. 그게 어떤 면이냐면, 제가 20대 중반에 소설을 쓸 때는 그냥 분노만 할 수 있었어요. 이 사회의 부조리와 사람들의 어떤 부당함과 이중적인 면과 그런 악의와 위선 이런 것들에 대해서 이 세상이 너무 마음에 들지 않아 라고 분노하고 화를 내면 끝이었거든요. 근데 어느 순간 돌아보니까 제가 어른이 되어 있더라고요. 그리고 내가 어른이라는 것을 부정하는 게 굉장히 비겁한 일이라는 것을 깨닫게 됐어요. 나는 아이였을 때 어른들의 보호를 받으면서 컸는데 이제 와서 내가 어른이 되어서 주변을 돌보지 않고 어른이기를 부정하는 건 굉장히 나쁜 태도다라는 것을 깨달았고, 그것을 깨닫는 순간 그냥 화만 내는 소설은 쓸 수가 없더라고요. 이제는 최소한 이 세계가 왜 그런지 스스로 설명은 할 수 있어야 된다라는 생각이 들었고, 마냥 비극적인 이야기만을 쓰기에는 저보다 어린 친구들한테 너무 미안하고, 그래서 완전한 희망은 내가 모르겠지만 우리가 조금 더 나아질 수 있는 방향으로 생각을 해야 되지 않을까? 이 세상 다 망해버렸으면 좋겠어 라는 생각은 정말 어릴 때나 할 수 있는 생각이지 라는 생각이 들어서 좀 더 어른스러워지자, 어른의 생각을 하자, 그런 생각들이 소설에도 그대로 반영이 되는 것 같아요. 그래서 좀 더 책임감을 느끼게 됐어요. 이 부조리한 세상에 대해. 저는 이제 내가 되는 꿈이라는 제목의 장편 소설이 이제 막 나왔어요. 그래서 이제 며칠, 한 2, 3일 뒤면은 독자분들께 전해질 수 있을 것 같고, 그거는 제가 되게 오랜만에 쓰는 것 같은 성장소설이에요. 그리고 앞으로도 계속 이런 생활을 지키면서 글을 쓰는 삶을 살고 싶습니다. 네. 당장 쓰고 싶은 이야기는 이제 막 탈고를 했기 때문에 네, 아직 없는 걸로. 네.
도시는 세계와 연결되어 문화를 창조했고 새로운 것을 받아들였다.
함께여서 우리는 더 자유롭고 더 멀리 갈 수 있어.
닫힌 문이 아니라 열린 질문으로
나에게 에이펙은
자유,
융합,
국제성,
다양성,
포용,
개발.
신라의 정신이 에이펙 2025로 이어집니다.
Hello and welcome to our morning edition of Arirang News. We begin with these stories making the headlines at this hour. President Lee Jae-myung returned home early Thursday after wrapping up his 6-day trip to the United States and Japan, where he met with his American counterpart Donald Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. As widely expected, South Korea's central bank has decided to hold its interest rate steady at 2.5% amid soaring housing prices in Seoul. In the United States, 2 children were killed and 17 other people were injured in a deadly shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis. Authorities say a shooter opened fire with a rifle through the windows of the Catholic church while Mass was taking place, celebrating the first week of school. South Korea's central bank has kept its key interest rate steady at 2.5%. The Bank of Korea announced a rate freeze on Thursday morning after cutting the rate by 25 basis points in May and holding it steady in July. The decision comes as concerns remain over surging house prices and rising household debt. It also reflects slowing inflation and growing volatility in the foreign exchange market. Following the move, the interest rate gap between South Korea and the United States remains at 2 percentage points. So South Korea's central bank has now announced that it will hold its interest rate steady. For more on what's behind this decision, we're joined by Professor Kim Yong-jin, professor at Seogang Business School. Professor Kim, thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
So as widely expected, the Bank of Korea has decided to keep its benchmark interest rate at 2.5%. What's behind this decision?
Well, as almost like 84% of market experts agreed, to the hold of base interest rate, the BOK, made a decision like that. From the last decision of freezing the base rate at 2.5 in July, I think, there was nothing changed. The household debt is still high. The upward pressure on the housing price in Seoul is still lingering. The uncertainty of the Trump tariff policy is going on. The only thing, changed is the domestic consumption after government subsidy. Domestic consumption is still a little bit improved due to the supplementary budget spending. but it is not enough at the moment. If the BOK considered more seriously the economic situation, which experienced negative growth in the first quarter, it would have, cut the base rate, but it did not. So, considering all the factors, it is reasonable for the BOK to hold the base rate unchanged. Moreover, there's no reason for the BOK to make the rate cut decision earlier than the U.S. Fed decision, due to the foreign exchange volatility. So those the BOK's decision was quite understood.
I see. So when exactly can we expect the Bank of Korea to begin lowering rates? Many experts say it could be October. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, that's right. Most experts are expecting the rate cut in October. Basically, that is after U.S. Fed decision on the base interest. Jerome Powell signaled there might be some chances of a base rate cut of the U.S. in next meeting. The September meeting. So we see how the Fed, make the decision, and then also we can see around that time the effect of Trump tariff policy on the price. So basically, the Trump tariff policy is not effective yet in terms of inflation. So U.S. Fed will make decision based on that information, and we'll see what kind of decision we'll make in October at the central bank, FOMC meeting.
Right. And speaking of Trump's tariffs and the U.S. decision, a lot of attention is on South Korea's investment in the United States, as Korean companies said they'll invest $150 billion there. Now, this is reportedly separate from the $350 billion South Korea earlier agreed to invest as part of last month's trade agreement. How do you see economic cooperation between Seoul and Washington evolving?
Well, it is quite, surprised to see the numbers, but basically it is not like a kind of surprise, right? Because, it is a quite clear trend in that, companies are moving their production operation functions to the countries which are considered as a market. So that was, a recent trend. In this sense, the recent investment decisions of Korean companies are quite understandable. There are several venues for both Korea and the U.S. to pursue. In the very strategic areas like defense industry and shipbuilding industry, Korean companies have a strong production capability, and the U.S. companies have a strong design capability. If, they go together as a team, I'm not sure, they can make a team or not, but if they go together as a team, there will be a big synergy in those collaboration. So, and also in the manufacturing sector, like automobile and semiconductor, in which the U.S. companies, have lost its capability, and the Korean companies can help rebuild the manufacturing capability, by building the factories. The market means the U.S. and then Canada and Mexico, right? And then this will be similar in the bio industry too. So it'll be great, for Korean companies and then U.S. companies together to make a collaborative business ecosystem. And then this is totally different types of global value chain, before the Trump tariff policy. So we'll see, the further development in the new business ecosystem or new global value chain in this trend of, the after wake of Trump tariff policy.
Right. You just mentioned that South Korea has strong capabilities in the shipbuilding industry and talked about how South Korea and the U.S. can work possibly as a team. And cooperation on shipbuilding is a major part of the two countries' economic ties, especially with the Make America Shipbuilding Great Again project. Now, this is set to include building U.S. shipyards, training shipbuilding personnel, and maintaining U.S. Navy ships. What's your take on this?
Well, I think the mascot is Make American Shipbuilding Great Again. That's the best outcome of the recent tariff negotiation of the U.S. with any other trade partners, right? This is a kind of signatory project, the U.S. and Korea can pursue together. It is a kind of exemplary case of the win-win strategy between the countries. I mean, no other countries, propose those kind of project to the U.S. and that will help, Korean companies too. So even though we need to see what will be happening to the project in the future, to evaluate, right? At the moment, it's too early to evaluate the performance. I believe it will create a great new business ecosystem, like I mentioned, where Korea and the U.S. are collaborating to build the best quality of Navy ships and maintain the best quality to give more power to the U.S. Navy. The Korean shipbuilding companies will be given the access to the U.S. Navy shipbuilding, which is, blocked, to any foreign countries. But Korean companies may have the chances to access to that market and also maintenance too. And while the U.S. Navy and companies will gaining the production and maintenance capability through Korean companies so that they could internalize those kind of systems. The key problem here is like people, like the training, shipbuilding personnel. The expertise in those personnel are the key to rebuild all this kind of ecosystem. So we have to really think about how to, grow those kind of expert in shipbuilding areas together.
Right, we'll have to see how that goes, and hopefully it works out well, the project. All right, Professor Kim, thank you so much for your insight today. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has now returned home, wrapping up his high-stakes summits to the United States and Japan. The trip is seen as having laid the groundwork for trilateral cooperation, while opening the door to talks with North Korea and boosting strategic and economic ties. Our Park Hyo-bin reports.
President Lee Jae-myung returned home after his high-stakes summits to the U.S. and Japan at around 1 a.m. on Thursday, greeted with handshakes and applause following his arrival at Seoul Airport in Seongnam. His six-day trip is being hailed as a major step in strengthening trilateral cooperation with Washington and Tokyo. There had been concerns after President Trump's social media post suggesting that a purge or revolution was unfolding in South Korea. Nevertheless, the meeting was seen as a major achievement, opening the door to renewed dialogue with North Korea, as Seoul pledged to work to facilitate a potential meeting between Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
대통령께서 피스메이커를 하시면 저는 페이스메이커로 열심히 지원하겠습니다.
That's good. We can do big.
Trump also expressed willingness to meet Kim before the year's end, raising hopes for renewed momentum toward peace on the Korean peninsula. With Trump set to attend the APEC summit in Gyeongju this October, prospects of a U.S.-North Korea meeting remain open.
I will do that, and we'll have talks. He'd like to meet with me.
He also made clear that his administration is moving away from Seoul's past security with the U.S., economy with China stance, instead placing trilateral cooperation with Washington and Tokyo at the center of its diplomacy.
And then there are some critics, honestly, who say you're too pro-China. Could you respond to that?
또 미국의 정책이 명확하게 이제 중국을 견제하는 방향으로 가면서 한국도 과거와 같은 태도를 취할 수는 없는 상태가 됐습니다.
On the economic front, he stressed cooperation in shipbuilding. Before returning home, he visited the Hanwha Philly shipyard in Philadelphia and touted the so-called Make America Shipbuilding Great Again project, underlining the role of South Korean companies in revitalizing U.S. shipbuilding through investment, workforce training, and modernized technology.
한국의 조선소들은 미국 조선소에 투자하고 우수한 인력을 양성하는 한편으로 현대화된 공정 기술이 미국에 뿌리 내릴 수 있도록 도울 것입니다.
Observers note that Lee also managed to avoid an immediate security bill from Washington during the visit. Notably, Lee's decision to visit Tokyo before Washington is seen as having bolstered trilateral coordination. He emphasized restoring high-level diplomacy with Japan. And for the first time in 17 years, the leaders of South Korea and Japan issued a joint written agreement, signaling a stronger commitment to improving bilateral ties. Park Hyobin, Arirang News.
Over in the U.S., 2 children were killed and over a dozen others were injured when a gunman opened fire at a Catholic school in Minnesota. The shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot, with authorities continuing to question the motives. Our Isingjae reports.
2 children were killed and 17 others injured when a shooter opened fire during morning mass at the Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis on Wednesday local time. Police say the shooter fired dozens of rounds through church windows just before 8:30 a.m., targeting children and parishioners sitting in the pews. The victims include 14 children between the ages of 6 and 15 and 3 parishioners in their 80s. The 2 children who died were 8 and 10 years old. Authorities say all of the injured are expected to survive.
At this point, we know we have a total of 19 victims from this tragedy. 2 were young children, ages 8 and 10, that were sitting in the pews at Mass when they were shot and killed. They were pronounced deceased on the scene.
Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara added that staff members acted heroically, moving students under pews and helping evacuate them within minutes once it was safe. The FBI identified the shooter as a 23-year-old Robin Westman, who died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound at the scene. Westman was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol, all of which were purchased recently and legally. Court records also show that Westman, who identified as a female, was born Robert Westman. In the wake of the tragedy, Pope Leo XIV expressed his profound sorrow. In a message delivered over telegram to Archbishop Bernard Hebda, the Archdiocese of St. Paul and Minneapolis, the Pope commended the souls of the 2 children to God and offered prayers for the wounded, first responders, clergy, and loved ones. The shooting took place during a mass as the school entered the first week of the new school year. Isingjae, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, the United States says it will newly impose sanctions on firms and individuals accused of involvement in a fraudulent North Korean IT worker scheme that's used to help fund Pyongyang's weapons programs. On Wednesday local time, the U.S. Treasury sanctioned 2 individuals, Russian national Vitaly Sergeyevich Andreev, who helped transfer money to a company under sanctions, and North Korean diplomat Kim Ung-sun, who together with Andreev carried out several financial deals, including cashing out about $600,000 in cryptocurrency. It also sanctions Seonyang Kumphungri Network Technology Corporation, which is accused of acting as a front company for the scheme. Also on the sanctions list was Korea Shinjin Trading Corporation, accused of sending instructions from Pyongyang for dispatching North Korean IT workers overseas. A Seoul court has rejected a request to arrest former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo over his alleged role in former President Yoon Suk-yeol's failed attempt to impose martial law. The Seoul Central District Court on Wednesday night denied the warrant sought by Special Counsel Cho Eun-seok, ruling that there is still room for legal dispute regarding key facts and how Han's actions should be legally assessed. Han faces multiple charges, including abetting the ringleader of an insurrection, falsifying and destroying official documents, and perjury. He is further suspected of drafting and later destroying a revised proclamation designed to bolster the decree's legitimacy. The former prime minister is also accused of lying under oath at both the Constitutional Court and the National Assembly, insisting that he only learned Yoon had given him a copy of the declaration after martial law was lifted. The works of young aspiring artists are on display here in Seoul as they seek to establish a firm foothold in the world of art. Our An Jung-jin spoke to a few of them.
Hidden artistic talent is now in the spotlight. Here at the 2025 Asian Students and Young Artists Art Festival, more than 500 artists have put up their work. Celebrating its 18th anniversary this year, ASYAAF is Asia's largest festival for young artists. It features contributions from across Asia, including Taiwan, Singapore, and Japan. With more than 1,000 artworks, this exhibition provides a glimpse into the creativity and dedication of these young artists.
I first got to know about this exhibition when I was in college, and back then, I thought one day, I will also showcase my artwork. This is my first ever exhibition, so I've put a lot of effort into it.
For a lot of young new artists, ASYAAF is a stepping stone to a bigger stage to showcase their artwork to the public.
Until now, I've only submitted work as a group, but I wanted to experience the larger world, so I ended up participating in this art fair with the dream of becoming an artist. I'm still a bit nervous, but I'm so happy that I can display my own work in a space like this.
And it's the vibrant energy and passion that attracts visitors to the exhibition every year.
I'm coming here almost every year with my friend, and I like how I can see a variety of young artists and their artwork.
I've started coming here after my friend introduced me. Since these artists are young, I think I get a lot of energy from them, and it's also refreshing to see them.
This year's ASYAAF is being hosted at Culture Station Seoul 284, the former Seoul Station building, which celebrates its 100th anniversary. The exhibition is divided into 8 different concepts such as departure and arrival, destination and transit, and other themes linked to train travel.
For a lot of these young artists, they're just starting their career. And I think ASYAAF acts as a gateway for these artists. We get attention for nurturing these artists who come out to continue great work.
The exhibition runs until September 7th and not only gives visitors a chance to appreciate the artwork, but also interact with these rising stars of the art world. So why not go and check it out? An Jung-jin, Arirang News.
Good morning, I'm Choi Ji-hee, and this is The World Now. At the United Nations Security Council, all members except the United States have declared that the famine in Gaza is a man-made crisis. During a Security Council session on Wednesday, representatives from 14 of the 15 current members issued a joint statement calling the situation in Gaza a famine caused by human actions. The statement also condemned the use of food deprivation as a weapon of war, asserting that this practice is clearly prohibited under international humanitarian law. They called for an immediate, unconditional, and permanent ceasefire, the release of all hostages, an increase in humanitarian aid, and for Israel to lift all restrictions on aid delivery immediately. According to the latest data from the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification System, nearly a quarter of Gaza's population is currently experiencing famine. In response, Israel challenged the report, labeling it as biased and based on incomplete data, while the U.S. representative at the Council questioned the credibility of the findings. The leaders of France, Germany, and Poland visited Moldova to mark its 34th Independence Day and underscore their support for Moldova's EU accession. French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, and Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk met with Moldova's President Maya Sandu on Wednesday to back the former Soviet republic in its pro-European course. This comes amid intensified Russian interference in its upcoming parliamentary elections on September 28th. All three leaders emphasized Moldova's path to EU membership and praised its resilience against hybrid threats from Moscow. President Sandu warned that independence is fragile, citing risks from disinformation, cyber attacks, and foreign-financed unrest. She said independence is not guaranteed. It depends on the choice we make. The Russian Defense Ministry said Wednesday that for the first time, Russian and Chinese diesel-electric submarines successfully completed a joint patrol in the Asia-Pacific region. This mission was initiated in early August, immediately following the Maritime Interaction 2025 joint naval exercises conducted by Russia and China in the East Sea. The objective of the joint patrol is to strengthen naval cooperation between the two countries, enhance peace and stability in the Asia-Pacific region, and protect the maritime economic interests of both nations. Finally, the Guinness World Records, a British record listing platform, celebrated its 70th anniversary on Wednesday, marking 7 decades since the first edition was published on August 27, 1955. To commemorate the milestone, the organization unveiled 70 new unclaimed record categories, inviting the public to attempt feats ranging from the fastest 400-meter sack race, furthest bottle flip, to the most high fives in 30 seconds. The Guinness World Records history began as a way to resolve pub debates and has since transformed into a global authority on extraordinary achievements, continuing to celebrate human ambition in different forms.
Although the season is slowly shifting toward autumn, the summer heat is not letting up just yet. At least here in the capital, we went without a tropical night for the second night in a row, but humidity kept the feels-like temperatures at tropical night levels. Today, the heat continues with daytime highs reaching above 30 degrees Celsius across much of Korea. And from this afternoon into the evening, instability in the atmosphere will trigger scattered showers again. Rainfall amounts will range from 5 to 40 millimeters along with that thunderstorms. But skies will stay mostly clear until those showers pass, with an expected high of 32 degrees Celsius here in the capital. Daegu, Daejeon, Gwangju, and Jeju will be all topping out at 33 degrees Celsius this afternoon. Now we'll need a dual-purpose sun and waterproof umbrella with frequent passing rain in the forecast through the weekend. And despite September beginning next week, daytime heat is forecast to stay with us, so please take well care.
That's all we have for this morning. Arirang News will be back at 5 p.m. Korea time. Thanks for watching.
누나가 발레를 하다 보니까 자연스럽게 누나 발레 학원에 따라가서 누나가 하는 모습을 보니까 저도 하고 싶다고 생각이 조금 들어서 발레 음악에 맞춰서 아무 춤이나 추다 보니까 그냥 그 음악에 맞춰서 제가 몸을 움직이는 게 재밌다고 느껴졌었는지 발레를 계속 하고 있더라고요. 나이가 좀 어릴 때 제가 가진 장점이 무엇인지도 모르고 아예 제가 가진 단점도 모를 때 발레를 시작했다 보니까 제일 큰 문제가 이제 평발이었던 것 같아요. 평발이다 보니까 발레를 할 때 쥐가 조금 많이 나는 편이라 그거를 견뎌가면서 춤을 계속 춰야 했던 거, 그게 가장 극복하기 힘들었던 것 같고요. 제가 다리가 다른 친구들보다 조금 두껍다고 해서 제 다리를 조금 싫어했었는데, 근데 이제 로잔에 갔다 오고 나서 오히려 제 다리에서 나오는 파워풀한 힘이 좋았다고 해주시는 분들도 있다는 걸 느껴가지고 그 두 개가 가장 극복하기도 힘들었고 기억에 남는 것 같아요. 프릭스티 로잔이라는 콩쿨 자체가 학생들 사이에서는 가장 크고 의미 있는 콩쿨이다 보니 제가 그 로잔 영상을 보면서 자라왔기 때문에 그 무대에 서서 제가 춤을 췄다는 것 자체가 엄청 인상 깊었던 것 같아요. 제가 걸어왔던 길, 이게 맞는 방법일까? 근데 그런 의구심을 다 없앨 수 있게 제가 가는 길이 맞았다라는 거를 확인시켜줬던 것 같아요. 그래서 그런 감정이 들어서 조금 감격스러웠던 것 같아요. 한 배역에만 잘 할 수 있는 명수가 아니라 어떠한 배역을 받아도 다 넣어서 소화해낼 수 있는 그런 스펙트럼이 넓은 명수가 되고 싶습니다.
다시 분다 걱정 말고 뛰어들어 웃지 말고 휩쓸려가 부서져라.
The Korean wave is drawing more fans from all over the world. Local consumer prices continue to hover at the 2% rate in April. Turning to robots to allow the visually impaired the chance to better indulge in cultural experiences. Like the number of hybrid cars are registered in South Korea has surpassed 2 million using this locally developed Yuri rocket.
아리랑.
We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day. We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you is Thursday, August 28th here in Seoul. I'm Lee Soo-jin, and this is News Generation. Joining us today is Brooke Prince.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Also, Yoon Se-young is with us.
Hello.
Hi. And both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. So it's Thursday, which means we're going to begin with our keyword news, where we look at a story that has been gaining traction over the past 24 hours. And today's keyword is baseball. Watching sports has quickly become one of the most popular pastimes in South Korea, with baseball taking center stage. According to Korea Baseball Organization, the country's professional baseball league has drawn more than 10 million fans for the second year in a row this year. And fueling this boom are young women in their 20s. The share of women aged 19 to 29 who attended games surged by 22 percentage points over the past 4 years, the biggest jump of any age group, and well ahead of the 13-point rise among men in the same bracket. So Taeyang, why do you think watching baseball has become so popular, especially among young women these days?
I think one of the big reasons why the baseball has become so popular among young women is that because for many of them, baseball isn't just a sport, it turned into a lifestyle experience. Experts often point out that the culture of professional baseball overlaps with K-pop fandom culture, which Brooke will further elaborate later on. And I totally agree with that. But on top of that, I believe there is also a generational angle. During the pandemic, many young women couldn't take part in offline activities, fan activities like fan meeting or concert. So they started looking for other ways to enjoy that same sense of excitement or belonging. And here we go. What they found was baseball.
Right. I also went to a game this season, and my team, the team that I was sitting with, lost. But still, it was like the energy was so good. That
Which team do you root for? Can I ask?
I was sitting with the Tucson Bears. We did not do very well, but it was still a great experience. So, what are your thoughts on this, Brooke?
I just think Korea in general is all about fanfare. Korean fans are so passionate, whether it's about K-pop or K-dramas, film, or esports. In my case, I love esports. I go to League of Legends games quite often, and when you go, you'll see people with jerseys with their favorite players on the back. You can buy a bunch of merchandise, there are posters, and so people can show off who is their favorite. And I think baseball is kind of similar, where it's like a K-pop group. You pick your bias and you follow them. And these days, baseball teams are picking up on that. So they have put out more variety content and ways for fans to get to know their favorite players even better. And that's what Korea really does well, is building a loyal fan base. And I think that's why baseball is hitting a home run with everyone these days.
So with over 10 million fans filling the stands for 2 years in a row, and young women in their 20s showing the sharpest rise in attendance, baseball's momentum shows no signs of slowing down. And we also look forward to seeing how the sports culture will continue to grow, change, and welcome even more fans in the years to come. And that concludes our keyword news for this Thursday. And as we move towards the end of the work week, we're taking a closer look at a beauty industry that's capturing attention around the world. So let's take a look at the screen to learn more. Korean music, dramas, and films have been capturing global attention. Riding this wave of popularity, another industry is emerging as a powerhouse in its own right thanks to a superior quality and innovative approach, South Korea's K-beauty sector. From cosmetics to advanced aesthetic and medical treatments, K-beauty is establishing itself on the global stage. So today on News Generation, we're exploring what's driving this global popularity, how it's inspiring dedicated events, and which K-beauty products and treatments we'd personally recommend. So as we just saw in the video, fans around the world are lining up for the latest K-beauty products, a clear sign of excitement these brands generate. The Korean wave has captivated global audiences with K-pop and K-dramas, and now K-beauty is taking center stage. And Korean cosmetics have become a key driver of this cultural export, combining innovation, style, and quality that fans everywhere love. And in 2025, K-beauty continues to achieve impressive results, expanding into new markets and setting trends on the international stage. So Brooke, to start us off, can you tell us more about how popular Korean cosmetics have become recently?
I sure can. So K-beauty has truly gone global these days, with viral videos taking the internet and makeup enthusiasts by storm. If you take a look at the screen, I'm going to walk you through some of the numbers. From January to April this year, Korea's cosmetics exports reached about $3.7 billion, ranking second in the world. That's a 20% increase compared to last year, and the export volume for the first half also hit an all-time high. As you can see from this figure here, K-beauty cosmetics exports jumped from $4.8 billion in the first half of 2024 to $5.51 billion in the first half of 2025, marking a solid 15% increase in just 1 year. And this staggering growth reflects just how much K-beauty appeals to people all around the world that are looking to achieve that coveted glass skin look that Korea is so known for. Innovations like gentle yet effective ingredients and a focus on nourishing, glowing results really resonate strongly with millennials and Gen Z globally. On top of that, we've got to talk about Korea's soft power. We've got the Hallyu wave, or the Korean wave, and that includes K-dramas, K-pop, and celebrities on social media. This has all made people very curious as to how their favorite celebrities look so flawless. So we've got shoppers that are chasing these multi-step routines. They want the cute packaging and they want those skin-first formulas. Even my sister, who has been a beauty guru on YouTube for over a decade, she's now using the multi-step routine that I recommended to her with all Korean products, and she said that they have really changed her skin for the better. So I think that's a real testament to how Korean products are being used globally.
So real quick, since she is a beauty guru, she knows a lot about makeup. What does she say is like the biggest strength of Korean makeup?
Well, she and I have always suffered with dry skin, and so she said that Korean products have added moisture in a way that nothing else has. So I think that's her favorite part.
But it's not just makeup. So Taeyeon, aside from this makeup that we just talked about, are there other areas of K-beauty that have seen significant growth?
Yeah, absolutely. Beyond cosmetics, Korea's medical aesthetics industry has been experiencing rapid growth. For example, the company best known for a popular rejuvenation treatment recorded about 35% increase compared to last year alone. And on energy-based medical devices, things like laser and ultrasound treatments also saw more than a 30% increase. And the market for Botox and fillers, of course, continues to expand steadily as well. And what's interesting is that these treatments are not only popular among locals, but are also drawing global attention. More and more international visitors are seeking dermatology and aesthetic procedures here in Korea, and that include global celebrities as well. For example, I saw Kim Kardashian recently visited Korea and shared her experience on her personal social media last week, posting several pictures where titled "Things We Do in Korea." And in the picture, she can be seen receiving skin treatments at what looks like a professional aesthetic clinic, and even getting injection on her arm for health and beauty purposes. So K-beauty today is really much broader. It's about skincare innovation and medical aesthetics and even medical tourism, making it a complete beauty ecosystem.
So I was kind of surprised. So I do follow Kim Kardashian on Instagram. So I did see these posts, and I was kind of surprised because usually you see like food,
right?
Kind of shifts into like.
She also visited K convenience stores as
did
well.
She?
Yes.
So you kind of see how important K-beauty has become.
Right.
So clearly the influence of K-beauty is going beyond skincare and just makeup. It's now even shaping the medical tourism industry, as people, like we said, like Kim Kardashian, are getting specialized aesthetic procedures and treatments when they travel to Korea. So can you tell us more about how this trend is unfolding, Brooke?
Yes, so short-term medical tourism among foreigners is also on the rise. Last year, 57% of international visitors to Korea sought out dermatology clinics, while plastic surgery clinics accounted for another 11%. And these are pretty high figures. Visitors from Japan and Taiwan made up a large share, with Korean dermatological procedures gaining popularity thanks to the influence of social media and, like I mentioned before, the Hallyu content. Everyone wants to look like their favorite celebrity. Now, a good friend of mine, Sydney, who will actually be joining us later in the show, worked at one of these professional aesthetic clinics. But what was special about this clinic is that it was specifically catered to foreigners. So they could have help navigating the procedures offered. I think one of the barriers to entry if you're going to go to another country for a procedure might be that language barrier.
Right.
But these days, because it's become so popular, there are more and more clinics like that popping up that are tailored to the experience for foreigners. And I think that's a great idea. I think it's going to bring a lot more foreigners into the country to try out these amazing services.
That will definitely increase accessibility. So riding a wave of this boom, Seoul is hosting a special event celebrating all things K-beauty, designed to showcase the best products and treatments to both locals and international visitors. So can you tell us more about this event, Saeon? How is it different from what it was like in previous years?
Yeah, starting today through the 30th, the 2025 Seoul Beauty Week is at Dongdaemun Plaza or DDP, and it's already the 4th edition. And last year, it drew over 50,000 visitors and generated 54.3 billion Korean won, which is about $40 million in export consultation outcomes. So it has become a flagship showcase for K-beauty, we can say. And what's new this year is how clearly it functions as a platform for growth, not just a consumer fair. And alongside the exhibition, there are export matchmaking sessions, investment matching, platform onboarding consultations, and networking and seminars to help SMEs to go global. So buyers, startups, and established brands can all meet in one place. And on the show floor, you will see two highlight areas with distinct purposes. First, trendy beauty in the art Hall 1, where categories are organized for easy test and try, and special beauty in Art Hall 2, which spotlights past winners of recent peach competitions. And there's also a dedicated lane for beauty, tech, and devices, including AI skin scanning and advanced skin analysis solutions to highlight where the industry is headed. And to amplify all of this to global audience, Seoul has appointed an official creator PR team to promote the event and connect with international fans online. So if you happen to be in Seoul this week, it's a place to try new products, meet brands and buyers, and see how K-beauty is growing into a full industry beyond just cosmetic or makeup.
Well, it looks like there's a lot to explore at this event. Is there anything else you'd like to walk us through about this event, Brooke?
Well, I happen to be in Seoul this week, so maybe I will drop by. I think Saeon explained it beautifully. Just to briefly give a few more details, the expo will be filled with different sections, from skincare and makeup to body products and hair products. So you can kind of try a bit of everything, and you can actually literally try out all the newest products to see what works for you. There will also be a strong focus on technology. As mentioned, there will be AI skincare scanners. And I remember the first time I used one of those, I was amazed at how it could match your color match your foundation. And I think Korea is really great at, for example, personal color analysis and having these sort of viral technology phenomenons that draw people in. In addition, K-beauty super rookie products that are gaining a following both in Korea and overseas are being showcased, and that just adds to the excitement of the event. I think there's so much going on. If you are here, you definitely will be missing out if you don't take a look.
I guess I know what we'll all be doing this week. So it's clear that global interest in Korean cosmetics will only continue to grow from here. So to learn more about this, we're going to talk to someone who's from a different country and is experiencing K-beauty culture firsthand. And that conversation will take place right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
Joining us today is Sydney, who's a model from Canada, currently working here in Korea. So hi, Sydney. Thank you so much for connecting with us today.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
What has your experience been with K-beauty been like since you coming to Korea as model and someone who's also worked at a clinic? What's it like to experience all of this firsthand?
Oh, well, it was a huge, just overwhelming sensation of everything, because you come to Korea and there's stores, 3 to 4 floors of beauty products. And when I first came to Korea, it was not as developed, but it's been growing ever since. And I'm very thankful for the Korean beauty that I have had. And also as a model, when I get my hair and makeup done, just all the steps and just how just detailed they are about it is it's awesome to see. And I love how I look after all the Korean hair and makeup styles done. And yeah, it's just very worth it.
Hi, Sydney. Thank you for being with us today. I'm super excited to have you on the show. Do you feel like you've had a glow up using Korean beauty products? And how has your skincare or beauty routine changed since moving to Korea? I know I've seen your before and after pictures, and I think it's really incredible. So what do you think about it?
So yeah, I was never really into hair and makeup before coming to Korea, but then as I got influenced by everything here in Korea, by living here and seeing how Koreans are very attuned to how they look, and so I just naturally sort of started picking up on it as well. I definitely had a big glow up, and I would say just like the overall lifestyle here in Korea is a lot more fitted to me, and just how the products that I've been able to use here have really attributed to keeping my skin much more youthful, as well as getting other treatments like the medical treatments as well.
I see. So as a K-beauty expert, are there any K-beauty products you'd personally like to recommend to people from other countries?
So before I recommend any products, I want to emphasize the fact that before you come to Korea or while you are in Korea, before buying any products, make sure you find out what kind of skin type you have. Is it oily? Is it greasy? Or is it dry? Or is it combination skin? You need to know that in order to get the products that are best suited for you. And of course, even so, those products may not be as good for you as another product may be. It's the same for all medical treatments as well. What might work very well for someone else might not work very well for you. For example, for vasodilation type of lasers to help with redness and to decrease the veins in your skin, that can have a huge difference in people. I had it done recently and my face really swelled up because I have very superficial veins, and so I had a lot of swelling happen after the treatment, whereas some people might not. So you have to be aware of what may or may not happen during treatments or different types of products. But in terms of products, I would really like to highlight this one. This is called Arirang, and it's a cleansing balm. It's actually a Finnish Korean brand, and it's a Korean and Finnish couple, and they're actually at the Seoul Beauty Expo this time, and definitely go check them out. They're really good. They use all really natural products, and their inspiration is like hwarang, like, you know, like the beautiful old time like soldiers that they had, right? And just that beauty in general, the Korean beauty. Really love their product. This balm especially takes off my waterproof makeup, my mascara, really, really well without any problems. Another thing I would like to recommend would be also my Real Barrier type of cream. I use two different types of cream moisturizer. I use a light one in the morning and a heavy one at night, because I don't stick with one line. I use multiples just because of the sponsorships and such. And so having a variety is also really good so that your skin doesn't just get used to one thing, but it's able to get different things from different types of products. And then also in terms of makeup, I recently started using this Consori. And this mascara I'm currently wearing right now is amazing. Brooke, you've also seen me wearing it. Yeah. And it's made my eyelashes much more long and curled and defined, and I really, really recommend that if you can find it. One of the best things. And of course, retinol and regular toners is also and of course, natural, what you put in yourself is also very important to maintain your beauty. So drinking lots of water and just being healthy helps to keep you looking younger as well.
That just inspired me to go shopping for more makeup and skincare products. So thank you so much for sharing your insight with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
So we've just heard from someone who's had first-hand experience with K-beauty here in Korea, sharing how her beauty routine has changed and which products she would recommend to people around the world. But interest in K-beauty isn't just limited to stores or in-person experiences. Social media is buzzing with it as well. Brooke, so how has K-beauty merged and evolved across these various online platforms?
Well, we asked Sydney about the so-called Korea glow up, and that has been a really viral challenge that's happened. It's a really fun trend to watch. It's about foreigners, the way that they have transformed ever since coming to Korea and living here for a long time. I personally feel like my skin has improved a lot since being here. I used to just think of makeup as something that I could just slather on to cover up my insecurities, but now I know the skin is the canvas. If the skin doesn't look good, your makeup is not going to look good. So I've learned that since being in Korea, and now I use a very extensive routine, a 10-step routine, so that I can keep my skin looking good and have more fun with makeup.
So international media has also taken note of the magic of K-beauty. So what kind of stories are we seeing, Taeyong?
Well, CNN or BBC are covering news articles about publishing news articles about K-beauty, and British media like Guardian and The Times have highlighted K-beauty's rapid growth, noting that South Korean skincare innovations are often 10 to 12 years ahead of other countries. So this global attention is not only boosting the industry's reputation, but also driving its expansion into new markets.
So K-beauty comes in many different forms, as we've seen in our discussion today, from everyday cosmetics to advanced medical treatments. And that's why we wanted to find out which aspects of K-beauty are capturing the most interest among our viewers. So to get a clearer picture, we asked on the Arirang News YouTube channel, which K-beauty product or service are you most interested in or are you already using? And here's what they said. So 64% were focused on cosmetics, including makeup and skincare products. Aesthetic devices accounted for 14%, while another 14% said they were interested in dermatology treatments. And cosmetic surgery represented 8% of the overall interest. So from what I understand, both of you are quite interested in K-beauty as well. So can you walk us quickly through your typical beauty routines? Do you want to start?
Well, like I said earlier, I have a 10-step routine now that I do my best to do every day. If I ever get lazy, I hear my sister's voice in my head telling me, at least wash your face. So that's one thing I want to recommend is the Korean double cleansing method, where you use an oil cleanser and then a water cleanser, and that will give you a deeper, clean, and more radiant skin.
Taeyong, do you have any other tips for us?
Yeah, as a working mom raising 2 young kids, I don't always have the time to go to the clinics for professional treatments. And honestly, the cost is also a challenge. It's quite expensive, and that's why I heavily rely on what's called home care, which K-beauty is really famous for. At home, I use devices, apply various masks, and layer essence or ampoules like vitamin ampoules. And I've actually seen real improvement over the time. So I highly recommend this home care, K-beauty home care.
So like we've said, from skincare and makeup to cutting-edge treatments, K-beauty is shaping trends and inspiring fans around the world. So it's clear this is more than just a passing fad. It's a global movement that shows how culture, innovation, and style can come together to create something truly remarkable. But to maintain this momentum, continued investment and innovation will be essential in driving the industry forward. And with the right support and creativity, there's no doubt that K-beauty is poised to continue to not only influence but set global beauty trends. And this brings us to the end of today's episode of News Generation. But News Gen will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Big thanks to Brooke.
Always a pleasure.
And Taeyong.
Thank you.
And to all our viewers, thank you so much for watching, and we hope you have the best day. We are
News Generation.
Building a sustainable tomorrow. Connect, innovate, and prosper. Connecting goods to goods, region to region, people to people, generation to generation.